Deen the Great versus Walid Sharks was, without a doubt, the greatest matchup we've seen in the entirety of YouTube boxing. So today I'm going to tell you guys how Deen the Great set up the final finishing KO blow, and also, arguably just as importantly, how Walid Sharks had Deen the Great on the ropes and nearly finished, and how that actually might majorly affect that rematch.
You know what I'm saying?
We're going to start off with the very start of the fight. We see Waldo come out here with this very aggressive jabbing start. 3 jabs, and Deen the Great makes a miss all 3 times. Now, in my eyes, this was a really impressive feat to start the match, not get hit once. I thought it was a really great start for Deen. We see him just dig to the body. One hard jab. You could tell whose jab was harder in this opening exchange. And then right here, we see another instance of Deen the Great's jab just being a lot more powerful, and it actually sets up his KO blow. We see him feint high, which is pretty nice, but look how much Walid is biting on this. Just a fast, off-balance jab because he does not want to feel that jab. So all respect to Deen the Great in that aspect. His jab to the body is actually one of his better assets. His pull counter right hand is probably his best, but that actually sets up his KO blow because of the amount that Waldo really bites on this shot. But Deen the Great, a lot of time, this is a veteran move from him, even though he's not really a veteran. It shows he's actually pretty smart and is able to really break up the action, get a warning from the referee, but it's worth it because it helps him to recover from that shot that he just ate. Pretty much all Waldo is doing from this point, jab, 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 which lulls Deen into a false sense of security, gets him feeling like, okay, I'm fighting basically a one-armed fighter right now. He's sticking so close to the game plan. All he's doing is jabbing. I'm going to have my way with him in this round. Oh, how wrong Deen is here. Now, Walid jabs right to the body. And look how slow Deen is to parry on this. Now, I know you're probably thinking, look at his eyes. And this would be a big critique from me. His eyes are so low. He's looking at nothing but the ground. However, he feels how late Deen the Great is to the parry on his forearm. So watch what Walid does next. Resets out from range. Feints low masterfully. Deen the Great, once again, he loves this counter left hook. He loves this check left hook. But he's also drastically over-exaggerating this parry down low. What's this right hand do? Block the left hook. So Walid's able to catch him with a big left hook. Beautiful guarding right here too. Able to just make Deen completely miss. And this wobbles Deen the Great. And now from this point on, we see Walid Sharks. We see Waldo really start to put combinations together. This is the first time he throws the right and really throws a left hook following earlier on in the fight when he first hurts Deen with his jab. Walid really starts to go back to the jab, and this is where he starts to realize and really look at the over-exaggeration to his jab to the body of Deen, because his jab is just so much more powerful. Look at how much distance Deen is just flying out of the way. So what can Walid do? Get Deen's feet tied up a little bit with the footwork and back him up against the ropes, put him in an awkward position, distract Deen, and fire an overhand right, which we're going to see later on in this round. Here's some further just clarification that Deen got hurt by Waldo. Look at this jab. Just grazes off the temple, fires a right. Deen tries to get out of the way. Look at him. The legs are not fully under him. Look at that. I don't know if you guys have ever been rocked, but look at Deen, the way he's taking these off steps. Now, smart from Waldo. Let's just get back to the game plan, dig to the body, because Deen's not hurt that bad. He's not bad. He's not doing the chicken dance in full, but he's still hurt. If you've never been rocked like that, it kind of feels like your legs just, it's hard to describe. It feels like your legs, you not necessarily don't have full control over them, but they just don't go exactly where you want them to go, and you're not even really thinking of it too, but it's a feeling of just kind of, my legs aren't hitting the ground where they're supposed to be hitting the ground, and we see this with Deen just a moment ago. Further clarification that Deen was actually legitimately hurt. And then just 2 seconds later, which I really like to see this from Deen, I thought this was really impressive. Look at this. Waldo tries to go with this jab and actually feint this jab out and then land this left hook once again. But this is where Deen realizes my rear hand is so much faster than this guy. Just pops him with this right hook. It's not the most beautiful right hook you'll ever see, but it's pretty solid. And this really sets up his KO because he starts to realize my rear hand is so much faster than this guy. The rest of the round, pretty much more of the same, but I really want to highlight this moment. It just shows how high level Waldo actually is. And I actually think he is at Golden Gloves level, because watch this. Feints this just looping shovel left hook. Look at Deen, covers. Pulls back on the feint. Look at his feet. He's not moving his feet at all. Fades back, watching out for this Deen counter right hand. Feints, or throws this right hand rather, and then boom, just grazes off the sides of the nose. Shows how high level he actually is. And then right here, before we get to the big knockdown from Walid at the end of the round, look at what Deen the Great does. This is so eerily similar to how he KOs him. Boom. How off his right hand, Walid's right hand is too. So Deen recognizes this. Okay, I can get off the center line with my right hand, but my right hand's so much faster, I might not even need to get off the center line to knock this guy out or put him on the canvas at least. And speaking of putting people on the canvas, Waldo just does a beautiful job of putting Deen right on the canvas. Watch this shot, man. Just this right hand. Now Deen dips. Deen's starting to slide out of the way. But then he kind of like, he almost kind of pauses and is like, okay, I'm probably going to get this right hook coming around, so maybe I'll slip out. He's looking to bounce out, and then in his mind, this is all happening. It's so fast in this guy's head. He's looking to bounce out and realizes, okay, I probably got a right hook coming, so I'm going to try and slip. Makes a big mistake, gets caught right around the ear, and goes down. Terrible call from the referee to not rule this a knockdown. Deen is still able to make it into the second round, and this is where Walid really starts to use his jab, right hand, double down. But then right here, we see Deen really start to over-exaggerate the way he slips inside of Waldo's right hand. Watch Waldo pull back, slides his right hand. Now, Deen is leaning on the inside. You don't want to slip on the inside of a right hand. This is textbook boxing. Slip to the outside of the straight shots, not to the inside, because what does it do? Well, it puts Waldo here, holding your head here, to a left hook coming to take your face off. Now, Waldo recognizes this. This doesn't land, but he still sees it. It still clips him, but it doesn't land the way Waldo wants it to land. But before the knockdown, just to kind of add insult to injury on the mistakes Deen makes here, watch what Waldo Sharks does here. He does this 2 times in a row. Just this right hand left hook. The disrespect to go straight from the read hand, just go rear hand, left hook, 2 times without using a jab. Any real setup, not even a level change feint. I mean, the disrespect displayed by Walid, you love to see it, man. Not that I hate Deen the Great either, it's just a fun thing to see, and it's just entertainment. Because we all know that you need to jab to set up your rear hand when you're going orthodox, southpaw. And to do this, when you're in an orthodox matchup is nasty, but look at this dirty boxing from Waldo Sharks. It's so beautiful. We see this. He flashes the right hand and then leans into this uppercut up the middle, catches Deen up the middle with this corkscrew uppercut, left hook down the side, cracks Deen the Great bad. And this is what really contributes to this knockdown because he hurts Deen the Great bad. Look at how wobbly Deen is after he eats that shot. I mean, Walid is really, as you'll see here, is just exposing Deen the Great's weakness to the left hook. So he faints in low and then is able to slip off, fire this massive overhand right. What does Deen do? Drop this hand. A lot of people would be dropping that right hand after eating a shot like that too. Boom. It just, when they're inexperienced. And a beautiful shot. People are going to say Deen the Great's knee was starting to hit the ground. It was kind of on the ground. I mean, yeah, kind of. But that's boxing right there. Waldo Sharks showed to be pretty dirty in this matchup though. But then again, I mean, you can't really see because of the ropes. So his knee might not have been down, but he still just fires his right hand. And that did have an effect on Deen the Great. But Deen the Great was dirty in this matchup too, which we'll get to later. Both guys showed to be pretty dirty, but I want to show you a big dirty moment from Waldo Sharks. So we see the two coming back. This is right after Deen gets out of the corner. Deen got a long break. He pretty much lucked out there. But watch this right hand, left hook once again, goes back to the well, hurts Deen once again. But that's not what I'm talking about. Watch this, man. And you're going to think this isn't intentional, but watch the way he covers and turns this elbow over. Watch it. This is someone that knows how to throw an elbow. This is not a short right hand. You know, we're going to have to go into, 0.25 speed because watch this. Boom. Elbow. Right on the side. That's not a short right elbow. That's not a short right hook. That's not a short right hand. That's someone that has maybe not experience throwing an elbow, but that's someone that knows he's gonna throw an elbow. I mean, trust me, I've been in my fair share of throwing and eating. But regardless of Waldo being a bit dirty, look what Deen does here. Finds his first love, the beauty of a shot the check left hook. It doesn't land hard, but this gives Deen the Great some actual confidence. And he starts to kind of be the one that's not necessarily dictating the action here, but is the one that starts to touch up Waldo. More than Waldo's touching up him, he gets back to the crafty head movements. However, the elbow, whatever else hurt Deen is not, hasn't really passed him, hasn't really gone out of his He's still concussed. He's still hurt. So Walid Sharks is able to look for the tells
Tells
him
him,
go
go
to
to the
this third round, not final round. Deen, the main thing he needs to do, which he's doing well, is moving out to the right, but gain confidence in his rear hand, because that's how he could finish this. I forgot to mute it. Deen moves in out of, or looks to counter this rather, moves to the right after that jab to the body, fires this right hook around. Now he's off balance, but this starts to give Deen confidence. For Deen the Great, confidence is the biggest thing for him. Everything, the momentum completely shifts right here. Now all of a sudden, Walid Shark for the first time since the first round is the one on the back foot. Deen the Great finds his left hook. Walid Shark is the one reaching for the clinch now, and Deen the Great has effectively rocked Walid Sharks. Not bad, not hurt him bad, but affected his equilibrium. And then we move on. Deen has finally got his confidence back. We're going to revisit something I talked about and stated earlier. The confidence of Walid Sharks ended up being his downfall because he starts to lead with the right hand. You don't want to do this, especially from the Philly shell. You can counter from the right with the right hand from the Philly shell, but you cannot lead with the right hand into combinations. Or you can't lead from range with the right hand, rather. You can lead when countering. So watch. Deen just feints in big, all of his body weight into this overhand right because he sees that Walid is throwing this right. Deen has learned his rear hand is so much faster than Walid, especially Walid's rear hand. He sees that he can put everything into this haymaker, lands right on the chin, rocks the head back, awkward position, hurts him bad, sends him down, and Deen just pushes him off, which that's the only dirty thing I saw from Deen. Deen really wasn't that dirty. It was just more of a disrespectful shove. You can see, man, Walid Sharks was hurt bad. He's trying to beat the count. He gets up, but he turns his back to the referee. You can't do this in boxing. You cannot do this. And, I've seen a couple people even complaining about this stoppage, but it was honestly, in my eyes, a pretty good stoppage. Walid was hurt bad, and to have someone displaying that type of body language, it justifies the stoppage in my eyes. But what I do want to see still is a rematch. I still think a rematch is justified. Who else at this 125, this, super welterweight, this super featherweight to lightweight, this area in influencer boxing, who is there to fight? You have Michael Reeves, who isn't going to come back. He's like 125. There's really no other major matchups for these guys. So I want to see this rematch. Probably the highest level boxing we'll see in YouTube boxing, and I'm all for it.